I bet you can't make just one of these little zipper pouches made from Placemat from the Dollar Tree and a lacy zipper.
Stitching stories in each town, colors weaving round and round, with a needle and a thread, so much life in what you said.
Hello, Crafties, and happy holidays! I got my little Christmas shirt on, Christmas sewing shirt. It's the day after Thanksgiving, so I can start wearing my Christmas attire. You see, I'm in my sewing room. We're taking a break from the camping during the winter time. And today I'm going to show you how to make a zipper pouch with a lace zipper using a placemat from the Dollar Tree. So let's get started. My Crafty Traveler YouTube channel is about traveling, but it's also about sewing, painting, and doing other crafts. As far as supplies, I have a placemat from the dollar store, the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take the tag off. The reason I like to use these is because they have a backing of a different color on the other side. So you could use either side, but I'm going to use this side today. I think this would be a great Christmas gift for anybody. But you could use any placemat from any store, but I like that has a lining on the back. Then you don't have to line it, and it's not going to fray. I also have a special zipper. You can buy these on Amazon. I'll try and remember to post it. And it is a lacy type of zipper. It's got little stars on it, and it's got a little star pull. Now this is longer. This one runs 17 inches end to end. And I'll show you why I'd like you to do a longer one rather than shorter one. And I'll mention that when I'm doing the project. Of course, clips are always good to have, or pins, and my trusty little scissors to clip off all those loose threads. And of course, you need a sewing machine. I have my little FOF Passport 3.0, and I'm going to turn it on. This is my symbol for my straight stitch, and I'm going to go 2.5 with my straight stitch. You might also want to put your label on there, and we'll need an iron and an ironing board or ironing mat. Okay, I'm going to cut or pull off these tags. So when you make a pouch out of this, it's lined and the edges are finished. The only edges that won't be finished will be the edges of the box corners, which I'll probably use a little zigzag with. I'm also going to use this ruler. I bought it on Amazon. It's a multi-sized curved corner cutter, and you can do a lot of things with it. Of course, it's got straight measurements, it's got curve measurements, and I use this to help with my box corners and do some other little measuring. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the placemat lengthwise. So I've folded it in half lengthwise, and I'm going to mark a spot with a piece of chalk right there. I'm going to come about an inch down, and that's about right where I marked it, right there. Sorry, I didn't press the record button, and I didn't show you what I did to the label. I zigzagged all around the label to secure it. Okay, there's my label. Now the next thing we're going to do is the zipper. Now these little lace zippers are different when you put them on. A regular zipper, you would put the right side of the zipper against your right side, and then you would flip it up, and part of the zipper would be turned under the work. Well, you don't want that. You want to be able to see these little zippers. So I'm going to put my zipper right along the top with the teeth showing on the top, above the top of the fabric. And then I'm going to clip it all down, and I'll be right back. Even though this zipper is quite a bit longer than the work, it's better because when we come to put the other side on, we'll have enough room to just attach it. We won't have to cut the bottom of the bag. That's why I like the longer zippers to do this kind of work. So I'm going to clip this on and I'll be back. Okay, I've got the first half of the zipper all clipped on, and I've made sure that the zipper teeth are above the fabric. And then I'm going to sew right along there, and as close as I can to the zipper feet, but it doesn't have to be, as long as I'm right along the tape here on the side. So I went ahead and changed my color, the thread, to match the zipper. And on the bobbin, I am using this Magnifico from Superior Threads, the premium high-tensity tribal polyester. You can buy it on Superior Threads website, and it's clear, so it doesn't matter what the back of the bag looks like. Okay, so I'm going to start sewing right along the zipper tape. It doesn't have to be close to the zipper teeth. And I'm just going to do a straight sew. You notice I'm not even using a zipper foot for this. Okay, there's the zipper on half of the bag. Now I'm going to bring the other half up, turn my bag around, and make sure that the zipper is lined up correctly. I'm going to start with the far corner at the end of the zipper, and I'm going to leave this end on there. I'm not going to trim that off or anything. Clip that. Clip it all the way down, just like I did the first one. Alright, I've clipped that all the way down. I'm going to make sure my zipper teeth are above the fabric. If you don't, the zipper could catch. So I make sure that's good. This longer zipper comes into play now because I've unzipped it almost to the end. Now we'll be cutting this later, so I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Okay, so I'm going to sew this zipper on just as you see it. Okay, that's all sewn on. And here's the end of the zipper, and I'm going to just test it. I wanted to show you what could happen after you're testing your zipper and it stops. That means that the fabric is too close to the zipper, or this tag. Oh, okay, I think it's this tag that's my problem. So I got to trim away that tag. Yep, that little tag was the problem. Shouldn't have any problem zipping and unzipping this. Yeah, don't cut this until you've tested everything, because if you were to try and test it after cutting it, it would zip right off. Okay, so there's the zipper on there. Now I'm going to turn it inside out, because we got to sew up the side seams. And if you see any threads in there, now's the time to... Not only do you want to trim threads, but it's a good idea to just check to make sure that everything has been sewn. So you're going to fold it in half, pull that zipper to about the halfway point, and then you're going to sew the side seam. I'm going to sew it at about 1/2 inch. Now the green thread is going to be on the red thread, but that's going to be on the inside. It doesn't make any difference. And now we're going to sew the other side seam, matching up the corners, making sure that the zipper tape lace is facing into the pouch or down. And I'm going to start at the top to make sure that that stays down, because I've done it going up before, and then that zipper tape gets caught in there and can be sewn the wrong way. And of course, trimming threads along the way. And you want to match up your zipper piece here, the zipper stop. You want to match that up. And again, 1/2 inch. Okay, side seams are done. Trim the threads. Now, hopefully you open the zipper, because that's how you turn it inside out. We're not done yet. We're just checking to make sure everything's sewn properly and lined up properly. And you get your finger in there and you punch out that end of the zipper. Okay, and that's the long end, so it's going to be bulky for the moment until we cut it. And then punch out the ends, the corners with your finger. Okay, now if you want, you could just leave this the way it is. Well, except for one more step. We got to trim that zipper. But I'm going to box the corners, but you wouldn't have to box the corners if you wanted just to keep it that little pouch. So I'm going to open my zipper up again and turn it wrong side out again, because I want to box the corners. And that way the pouch will actually stand up a little bit. So I'm going to punch those corners out, make sure they're out all the way. Okay, trimming threads as usual. Okay, now we're going to make sure that this part of the zipper is out. Okay. We've got it now. Now we're going to trim this part of the zipper. And I like to trim it just the same place as where the top of the bag is. Just cut it off. You can throw that away. It's not that much. They're not that expensive. Okay, now we're going to box the corners. I don't know if I showed it or not, but I measured 1.5 inches from the seam on the side and down. I also marked the fold line with chalk so I can match it up with the seam, and I'm opening up the seam. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that's even and clip there and clip there. So that's going to be a boxed corner. Now I'm going to stitch right across. Okay, one thing I did is I changed my thread to red because I'm going to be sewing on the red side of the mat. Just a straight stitch, that hasn't changed. I want to make sure the seam is open and on the center. And this is a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, straight across. That's all I did with that. I'm going to do this side. I like to sew it so I can see the seam open. Now, I'm not back stitching on these because I'm going to come back and do a tight zigzag across here just to make sure it doesn't fray. Some of these have a more satiny finish. This is a little more textured, so it's less likely to fray, but I'll put a zigzag. But I want to turn it around and check it first. I'll do that and come back. So I've turned it right side out, and I've punched out the corners with my fingers, and I've made sure that the end where the zipper was the longest is out as far as it can go. And there we have box corners. And the zipper works. Okay, so what I want to do, though, to make sure that those inside seams don't fray, is I'm going to do a zigzag. So I'm going to turn it back, wrong side out, and zigzag that. Alright, it's all wrong side out again. I'm going to change my machine to my zigzag like I did earlier. And I'm just going to zigzag right across there in a tight zigzag. And that's what it looks like. I'm not going to trim it. I'm just, except for the threads, I'm not going to trim it. But that's what doing a zigzag stitch. That's what doing a zigzag stitch across there looks like. And it's not going to fray. Okay, I'm going to trim some of those frayed edges just so they don't fray anymore. Okay, there's the finished bag. Let's measure it. It measures at about 7.5 inches wide by 8 inches tall, about 3.5, maybe 4 inches deep. And you got a lot of room in there to put a lot of goodies in. This would make a great Christmas present for someone, and you could fill it with sewing items, crafting items, cookies. If you did cookies or food, I'd put a little plastic bag in there to do it. But that's what you could make it. You could make that so easily just with a placemat and a zipper. There are other videos on their line that do them with the other kind of zipper, and I might show that another time. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it gave you some ideas about a Christmas gift, a little zippered pouch that's really easy to make. And then you can put whatever you want in it and give it as a gift. I think it's a great idea. I'll be doing the same thing. So if you like my video, give it a thumbs up. Comment, share, subscribe. Stay crafty, smart, creative, and safe when sewing zipper bags using placemats from the dollar store. I also want to thank my members, Rita, Sherry, Desert Adventures in Arizona, and Sally Forth for supporting my channel. If you like my content, then please join my channel. It's only 99 cents a month, and I'll send you a sticker. If you want to go higher, then I send you different kinds of gifts. You can push the join button down there and see what they are. Thank you for watching all the way through. Bye now.